So it's still Saturday morning, but my older 3 kids are leaving afternoon, and we've got a lot going on this afternoon, so I thought I would do my final video for this week's rationing now and kind of show you what we have left, what we'll be eating on today, and final thoughts. So let's start with this. I've got this much rice left, which I will be cooking to go with, if I can get it picked up, these beans for supper tonight. This has ground beef already in it, but I have this ground beef that I didn't drain, which I will warm up, drain the fat off, and I'll probably add this beef to the beans, and I might do a vegetables on the side because I still have some vegetables. I bought vegetables. I've not really rationed vegetables because we eat a lot. Now, this isn't snapped. This is a little bit of potato soup that was left from a couple days ago. So this will be eaten at lunch today. This is a little bit of potato something, one of the dishes I made this week. So these will be lunch options. Oh, I forgot one thing. I have this, the chicken pot pie sort of with potatoes. So lunch today is going to be these 3 things and these vegetables that I roasted. And we've got a few fries. My husband's sausage is still here. And we have biscuits. We have 8 biscuits left from this morning. So those are all the options for lunch of what we had left over from the week. So supper is going to be the beans and rice and beef. And then the leftovers options for lunch. I have a little bit of bread left, not much. Oh, I have garlic bread still in the refrigerator, so I'll probably pull out some of that and warm it up to go with lunch and supper. Now, as far as the foods that were rationed, here is what I have left, and I don't really see us using this afternoon or today. So we had 1 stick of butter left. We had 2 eggs out of the dozens. We used 10 eggs, which is about average for our family as a whole. I didn't use the dried cherry, whatever these are, dried cherries, or I think they're dried cherries. We didn't use these. I still have a can of evaporated milk. Now, as far as milk goes, I didn't really keep full track of that because I kind of subbed it with almond milk for my daughter, and I bought buttermilk, which I used last night and this morning, and then half and half and heavy cream. I already had some things that used those, so it kind of it was about 4 gallons. I don't see it being more than that. I didn't sit down and do the full math, but it's somewhere close to the amount, so there wasn't any extra. I still have this much bacon bits, which I'll allow them to add to the soups or leftovers or whatever they want to. And then there's more cheese than this. Where'd that fly? I still have this much cheese. It was funny because when I first started talking to my kids about rationing, they were like, "That's so little cheese." Because I do a lot of meals with cheese on a regular basis, but this week we didn't. So we have this much left with this. So that is what we had left. And, oh, the powdered eggs. We hardly use those at all. And I'm going to keep this jar for baking. What's your name, babe? Oh, just that eyes over there staring at me. I will use this for baking, and it'll come in handy. I have a big canister, but I'm glad I put it in a jar because it'll fit in my cabinet and I can use it. Jelly, we used up our allotment of jelly. We used up our allotment of peanut butter. I think that's it. Oil. We used up all but this 1 stick of butter. And I was shocked we still had a stick of butter. So we used 6. Oh, there is a stick worth on the table. So we have 2 sticks of butter left. So we only used 5 this week, which is about normal. We usually use 4 to 5. So I was surprised by one thing. There were things that we used the same amount we normally would use in a week's time, like butter, eggs, bacon. We were talking about that at breakfast this morning. My daughter's over there making faces at me. She loves bacon. But we only do bacon about every other week, usually. And it's usually only 1 pound. So for us to have 24 ounces or 28 ounces, however much it was for this week, we actually had bacon more often than normal. Everybody just got 1 slice, but we had bacon more often. So I asked the kids at breakfast this morning if they wanted to take that amount of bacon and have it weekly, or go back to the way we did it before, about every 2 weeks, have it, everybody get 2 or 3 slices. And they went, oh no. So I don't know either. I don't know what we'll end up doing, but I enjoy having it every other week or so it's more of a treat. Breakfast sausage, we had that the one night, and I found out that my kids really like breakfast sausage and they want it more. So that's something I don't normally do a whole lot of, so I will. Trying to think of what else. We had a fun week. Nobody starved. We had plenty of food, and we still have enough left here to make do. And I can't say I want to do rationing again, but at the same time, I realize that I already do ration a lot of things just as a normal basis. Thanks, Abby. She's over there going. 16-year-olds, they're so fun. So anyway, I also never got to my garden this week. It rained on the days that I could have worked. The tiller that we have needs work, so it just never happened. So I'm kind of hoping that I can talk to my husband. It's really overcast today, and I don't know if it's supposed to rain, so we'll see. But I have potatoes that need to be planted, and I have onions that are sprouting. I've got lots of onions that are sprouted. So in the next week or 2, I'll do a video on the garden stuff, but that's where we're at. And another thing is, I am fixing to start reading this book. I just got it a few days ago. Let me grab it. It's over here. The Ration Challenge by Claude Fullwood. 40 Days of Feasting in a Wartime Kitchen. And the little bit that I've had a chance to look at, it's so intriguing. And it's even got recipes in it. In the back, it's got recipes. But I am going to read this coming week, and then I'll do a video review on it. So when I do the review, I'll add the link to it if anybody's, or I'll add the link here, and then I'll probably edit again. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. One of the things that they talk about is things to do each day, basically living below the poverty line, and it's really interesting. Now, I can't say that my family lives below the poverty line, because we don't. My husband has a good job. He makes good money. But we have a big family, and so groceries cost a lot of money. And this isn't just about groceries. It's got a lot of other stuff. So I'm going to read this, and I will do a review. In the coming weeks, what I would like to do is take all of the 1940s cookbooks that I got. I got a bunch of little pamphlet-like books, and I have, I've got a bunch. So I would like to start making a lot of more of those recipes, which they were based on what was rationed, so it's in the spirit of things. This week, I just didn't really get to any of those. I basically, I don't know, I use recipes, but I don't a ton. If it's something that I've never made before, I'll use a recipe for, but I cook a lot, just eyeballing, throwing stuff in. This week I made brownies. I used a recipe. I made those muffins. I used a recipe. But I don't always use recipes. I've learned to just cook. So I'm going to end this, but I'm going to read this book and I will let y'all know what I think of it. And that's where we're at. It's been a fun week and I've enjoyed the challenge, and the kids didn't starve, so I think they enjoyed it too. I asked my husband, it's like, so what did you think about this week? He goes, it was another week. He was at work all day. He'd come home, he'd eat, he'd go back to work, so it didn't affect him much. I do have one child who snuck snacks several times, but most of the kids stayed within the spirit of the challenge, and it was a lot of fun. So, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for being a part of our adventures. And I keep hearing a clicking. I've got my Instant Pot going with some chicken for tomorrow. So, thank y'all, and I'll be back. Another thing that my daughter reminded me to add, one of the rules for this week was to stay in period for TV or movies. So I had told them, I said, if we watch a movie, it's going to be made before 1950, to stay within the 1940s time period. So the first movie that I watched was a late 30s, I think, version of Pride and Prejudice, which I really enjoyed. In fact, we all watched it together and the kids were laughing. They liked it. It wasn't my oldest daughter's favorite, but then again, we like the musical version of Pride and Prejudice, and so that was just, it wasn't our favorite. They watched The Scarlet Pimpernel yesterday, an old black and white version. I wanted to watch Casablanca, but that just never happened, and eventually we will. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, Monkey Business with Cary Grant. That's one that they've loved for years, and so they watched that this week. Other than that, we didn't really stay on track. They did watch some cartoons that were older, but they ended up just watching their normal YouTube videos a few times, and me too. But it was still a fun experience, and they saw movies that we wouldn't normally think to watch. So I've been on the lookout for more older movies. I grew up watching the old movies, so it's fun. But yeah, we're gonna probably pick out some more old movies to watch soon. And yeah, I'm gonna go now. Bless you. Bless you. Bye.